Are we live yet?
Yes.
Okay. Should we listen? Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, hello out there in Facebook land, and what are we on here?
We're on Facebook, better known as Facebook.
Okay.
Just Facebook alone.
Just Facebook alone. Okay. Can you put it on YouTube?
YouTube is doing some funny things out there. They're not letting me download any videos. Maybe somebody, if they're hearing this, tell me how I can get on YouTube, because they got some child laws called COPPA, I think, that they're not allowing me to post anything on YouTube because I guess of the sex trafficking and different things that's going on. So anyway, I'll talk about that later. But anyway, our topics today is,
are the holidays stressful for you? I love you, honey.
Yeah.
You're trying to move me closer.
No, I'm just trying to get you in the camera view. Did you hear what my hubby said? Are the holidays stressful for you?
This is another segment brought back by Black Demand.
Popular Demand.
I'm sorry, Popular Demand. Chatting with the Belcher'S. We haven't done one of these in quite a while. There,
yeah, I
Queen of
think
My Heart and other parts.
It's probably been over a year because
you think it's been a long?
Yeah, because so much been going on with my surgery recovery, with traveling, this, that, and the other, remodeling our home. We just haven't had time to get on here and do anything. Who's joining in? Hey, Erica.
Favorite
Hello
niece.
there. Don't y'all look colorful, coordinated? Cute. We coordinated.
You know the Queen.
Bam, bam, bam.
That's cool.
Yes.
So
anyway, if you guys got any questions, please present them about, are the holidays stressful for you? Hi, Michael Magaro. That's my buddy. That's my cooking buddy, I think. Oh, we're doing fine. Remember he made that good old food over the Stan's house that time.
Big Mike.
Yeah,
Big Mike.
Yeah.
Man on the grill.
Yeah, the man on the grill.
Man on the grill's after my heart.
So anyway, we're going to talk about it today. We're
Absolutely.
not going to try to hold you. And if, in case I miss you saying something, I will go back later and respond to whatever you said, okay?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes these responses go by so fast, I can't answer everyone's questions.
Well,
so
absolutely.
we're going to get started on it. I have a list of things, because y'all know I'm menopausal. I got to write shit down. I can't remember nothing. But I wrote some things down that said, number one, the holidays can be stressful because of shopping, okay? Cooking, demands that are put on you, okay? Who do you visit? That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that when we get back to that one. In-laws, outlaws, and in between, because the Queen let me know a long time ago that some things I was doing around the holidays wasn't too cool.
Yeah, because it seemed like back in the day, this was when
our
right children were smaller. Back in the day, we would visit probably about 15 relatives on Christmas Eve. And it would, I don't care what type of weather, it could be 15 inches of snow. And we would be out there visiting relatives. We would start out mostly with mine, because we would work from out Toledo, suburbia, and come on into town. And we would visit probably about 5 or 6 of my relatives and probably about 7 or 8 of his. And my son used to say, oh, Santa's going to miss our house. This is when he's a little boy. He's going to miss our house because we're not home. We out visiting everybody. I made a conscious decision in 1986, the year that my husband got clean and sober from gambling, that I wouldn't visit nobody. I want to be in my kitchen cooking my cookies and baking and smelling my greens and cornbread like everybody else in their kitchen. Hey, Nairi! Holidays are stressful sometimes for me since I am miles away from my family. I can understand that. Okay, let me finish going through the list. Buying for people that you don't really get along with. But because it's tradition, I got to go out and buy my uncle, cousin, in-law, something, and they ain't even talking to me. But it's tradition. You don't want to piss people off. You're always worrying about somebody else's feelings, but you don't consider how you feel about a situation. At least that's how I am. I'm only talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody out there unless you chime in and say what you feel, okay? Okay, buying for people you don't get along with, stop it. Okay, sadness and loneliness. This is the time of year that people are into being sad because they might not have, the finances to make their holidays. It's a man-made day. Sometimes I think, this been going on before I was born. But sometimes it puts a lot of pressure on people, this man-made holiday, that we feel like we have to go out and spend money that we don't have for people that not necessarily care about us. And even if they do care about you, we spending money that sometimes we don't have. So it can bring sadness because everybody don't have money to buy people things. And a lot of people right now, I won't say a lot, but there are some that are lonely. People are going through things like, for instance, with death, whether that death be suicide or by some other means. People are going through divorce. People are going through relationship problems. It's a lot. It's a lot. People have very high expectations, and I'm talking about myself. I have high expectations of people because of the way I'm built and wired. Okay, so those are some of the stressful things. Do you have anything to add to that, dear?
I got a million things to add to it. Okay, where do I start? Okay, let me back up here. We'll go with the loneliness over the holidays.
Yeah, because Nairee
chimed in there. Mm-hmm. Favorite niece that's, I think she's residing down in Texas. Also, she's in the military. Shout out to the military vets, me included, or active duty. You active duty folks, God bless you and keep you. Stay safe. Anyway, Nairee brought up something very interesting. She says a lot of times the holidays are stressful for her because she's away from family, all right? Well, yes, that can happen. I know when I was in the service, around the holiday seasons, I was young at that time too, and I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't really think about my family that much other than I hadn't seen them in a while, but when you're 18 to 24, you don't know your butt from apple butter, and you go with the people that you're with, and yeah, you drink a lot sometimes because that eases the pain, or you think it does, so that's cool. But now, more up to date. A lot of times you're in relationships that aren't going well, and especially around the holidays, and as my beautiful bride said, you bought gifts for people for many years, all right? And then the relationship falls in a crack. You're not getting along the way that you used to or whatever. So it puts some of us, sensitive people like me, it puts you in a little bit of a, maybe not a good state, okay? Do I do it? Don't I do it? And if I don't do it, how's that going to affect the other person? How are they going to affect me, all right? A good friend of mine said to me one time, a lot of times we do things for other people to make us feel good. I think I understand what that means today, all right? It's a personal call that only you can answer.
And like my husband likes to say to me sometimes, he likes to model the behavior that he likes to see in others. Even though there might be some relationship problems going on, he likes to model the behavior of what should be done. Now, me, I can be just the opposite because we're opposites and we attract. Hey, Rosie, I have something to add. Please add it, Rosie, because we're looking for comments and solutions, okay? So I'm very, impulsive.
That she is.
I'm very impulsive. Somebody make me upset, I'm liable to cut your picture up and throw it in the garbage. And
she's done it before.
Block you on Facebook and Instagram.
She's done that before too.
I've done that before and I went to my psychologist this week because for those that don't know, I still go talk to somebody because I can't, always run to my husband about things that's bothering me because sometimes he got his own problems that's bothering him and I don't want to bring him down. So I go out and I talk to people about things because I need help. Some things I can't fix by myself. I can't do it by myself. So I got pretty good insurance, And so I go talk to somebody and get it off my chest, and then it makes me feel better. And I get advice and solutions on how to handle things. So what was I saying? You know, menopause takes my damn brain every time I'm in the middle of something.
You were saying sometimes impulsively you may cut somebody off, and then you have a second thought about it. I don't know if you said that.
Yes, I didn't have that.
Then it makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
But let me also say this to you, too. If you're sensitive like I am, and for a long time, the reason I kept buying for other people, even though they weren't treating me well, was because I've looked in my own mirror, and I know a lot about myself today, more than I've ever known. Because I needed other people's approval of me to let me know that I'm okay. But today that's changed. I have okay stamped on my heart. And that's irregardless whether the person that I'm in relationship with or not in relationship with at this time. Makes no difference really what they do. It makes all the difference in the world what I do. But sometimes you've got to put limits on things.
And we know, like I tell my husband sometimes, I don't want to know nobody else. Because it seems like the more people I know, the more I get all into their stuff because they want to tell me what they're going through. And I understand because I tell people what I'm going through sometime too. But the thing is, we can't keep telling people the same story over and over and over again, and we don't do nothing about it. Now, don't tell me the same shit you was telling me last year and 2-3 years ago, and it's still the same. You have to make some changes if you want to be better at life. You do. And I do try to make those changes. Now, sometimes I relapse. But I do give it a shot. What you saying, Rosie? There's two people who know you. There is a God in yourself. You do not need other people to judge you. When other people, let me put this, see more, judge you, then you fuck. Whatever that means, then you fuck. Okay, whatever. Look, Zuckerberg. I said fuck because he said it on there first. I usually say buck because I don't want Zuckerberg to kick us off of here if we go to cussing and carrying on. They got these old strict Facebook rules that they'll kick you off of this damn thing.
Possibly, I may be able to paraphrase what my brother Roosevelt was trying to say.
And I'm going to drink to that, Rosie. I'm going to drink to that.
Absolutely, okay?
Rum chowder, y'all. Rum chowder, him or rum chowder. Spilling it all over the place.
You go right ahead, Queen. It's your rum chowder, okay?
Rum chowder.
I think what Brother Roosevelt was trying to say, something that I was saying a little earlier. You don't need somebody else's approval to let you know that you're okay. And you surely cannot allow that to run around in your mind and your head because it can screw you all up. But see, what I've also found is this. When I stop trying to judge others, and I'm working on that, it took a lot of stress and strain off of me judging myself.
Yeah, because you know what we don't tend to do sometimes is accept people where they are. I have a problem with that. Accepting people where they are. Now, I expect somebody to accept me, but then what we tend to do is what we don't like in others, we do the same damn things. I might not like that they don't put pants up or whatever they're doing out there. I will turn around and do the same thing. And what anyway, I ain't going to go all off.
You do anything you want.
Oh, Erica, I got my eggnog going. Ooh, that sounds good. You know what I should have did was added eggnog to this rum chowder because somebody told me to do that. Hey, Tom. You remember Tom? Tom used to go to, I don't know if he still does.
Yeah. Hey, Brother Tom.
Here's to y'all, rum chowder.
Absolutely.
Rum chowder.
And also, Nairi, you were saying that Grey Goose did it for you. And I hope, I got my bear, but why? Nairi, I hope a lot of that is joking, okay? But I understand.
But that's okay if she got it right, long as you ain't like overdoing it. As long as you ain't overdoing it. We all can have, like, I can't tell nobody what drink. I'm sitting here drinking rum chop. And my husband over here drinking, whatever he's drinking. This is
Woodford Reserve, the best bourbon that they make. It was good enough for President Obama. It was good enough for D.B. Belcher. But anyway, anywho, no, not Nairi or anybody else. It ain't no problem to have yourself a little nip. but don't fall down on your face and start messing up the man's place. I think that's part of Ray Charles' Let's Go Get Stoned, okay? But again...
Love you too, Michelle.
But it's not up to me.
Tom said go Buckeye.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, you see my deal. Okay,
okay, what did Rosie say? I'm trying to answer everybody and talk to.
Queen, you and your husband are the most happy couple I've ever seen.
Other people judge that and they judge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Live your life. Don't let other people judge you. Ooh,
absolutely, Roosevelt. You're absolutely
don't.
right. Because, see, when people see a couple that's getting along and they're happy with each other, it makes some people gripe because what do? They look at their own relationship and they don't have that type of relationship. So instead of asking, say, me and my wife, what makes you guys seem to get along pretty well? And we do, all right? But we have our ups and downs.
Oh, yeah, because we ain't always been like this, y'all.
Oh, no.
Probably the first 17 years, and I've said it on this Facebook before.
Absolutely.
It took me about 17 years because we came into a relationship with our foundation cracked.
Absolutely.
We had the biggest crack in our foundation. We come from blended families.
Yes.
And we didn't know who we were, let alone trying to jail
there you go.
A blended family. He had 2 children. I had 1. And trying to jail that, and we didn't know who we were, trying to please in-laws and outlaws and in-laws and mother-in-laws. His mama was controlling our relationship and carrying on, and it was tough. But after about 17 years, I'm telling y'all, gambling addiction, I was eating up everything. I had an eating addiction. 55 pounds bigger than I am now.
She looks good. Okay.
Thank you, dear.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, all that stuff in the relationship, we didn't know who we were. So it took me about 17 years. I'll tell anybody want to listen. To really fall in love with this man that's sitting next to me, this handsome man that's sitting next to me. And we will be married coming up January the 5th. 40 years. 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
And there's people out there, and you know who you are, that didn't think it would last 40 days.
Yeah. There was a couple people
or 40 nights.
There was a couple people hoping that it would fail.
Oh, well, hell yeah.
They was telling people, they ain't gonna last.
Oh, absolutely.
But we were bound to determine, weren't we? To make it last, because this is our second marriage.
Well, I had to get my act together.
This is our second marriage. He been married before. I been married before.
Right,
I didn't want to go down the divorce road no more, because everybody been looking at me. You know how they look at women. They blame women for everything. Oh, it must be something wrong with the queen. She can't keep no man. And you know how they do, always blaming the women for something. So I was bound determined that we went to counseling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
We did everything to try to keep this relationship, this marriage. And then I fell so much in love with him, he became like my best friend. He my best friend. I don't have no best friend. He my best friend. Because I can, women.
The wife, right. Now, again.
Oh, what Roosevelt saying. Okay. Do not look back in the rear mirror.
Absolutely.
Yes, if you look back in the
right,
room with man, everything will come here again. Kick a man, whatever that means. Outlaws and in-laws. Yeah, Nairi, outlaws and in-laws.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you, Tom.
You can't let them into the intimate circle of you and your spouse.
Let me tell you about the circle. Everybody listen up. Now, this was taught to us years ago when we were going through, we was at divorce door, and we was going to counseling. And one of our matter of fact, I think it was my sister and her husband. My sister is no longer here. She passed.
Wise
lady.
Her and her
Very
husband. Wise lady.
We went over
What's
there to
your sister's name?
My sister's name was Mary Lee Harris, okay? And we used to go over to her home because she was the only example that me and my husband had seen put before us as a married couple. My parents, my husband's parents, we didn't have these kind of examples. So we didn't have a blueprint. We were winging it. True. So anyway, my sister got married at 16, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, her and her husband seemed to have had a good marriage.
Her husband's Bill Harris, for you folks that don't know out
Bill Harris, my niece on here, Erica, that's her mom. So anyway, they taught us about the circle. Here's the circle, you guys. Yep. Okay, here's the circle. You don't let, ain't nobody in that circle but you and your spouse.
There you go.
You don't let your children in there.
Nope.
I know some people say, oh, my children is first in my life. Because one day them little oogie boogies is going to grow up and they're going to have a life of their own, and you ain't got to know the man that you are married to all your married life, when them children leave, you're going to be looking at each other like, who the buck are you? Because you put so much energy into your children that you forgot about your spouse.
No
so
question.
you never let them children in that circle. You don't let your best friend in that circle.
Nope.
You don't let your in-laws and your outlaws in that circle.
Nope.
Nobody goes in that circle but you and your spouse. Now, there was a time we were letting everybody in our circle. We were, matter of fact, outside our circle door knocking on it. Somebody let me back in my circle.
That's true.
Because we had let everybody in our circle and we wasn't even in there. So that's just a little word of wisdom from people that are coming up on 40 years of marriage. Now, it ain't been easy. It ain't been easy.
No,
but he's been worth it.
Oh, I like that.
He's been worth it. He's been worth it because I saw a diamond in the rough, didn't I?
Yeah.
Diamond in the rough. That's y'all.
Queen's fired up today,
I'm fired
y'all.
up today,
Okay,
y'all.
well, we haven't done this in quite a while. Okay?
Yeah, I'm all excited.
You have to understand something about a marriage or any relationship. There are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days, okay? There's going to be days when you probably heard me say this before. I can't stand you, but I can't stand to be without you, okay? But see, that's an inner thing, all right? And if you don't have it within you, you ain't going to find it outside of you, okay? And as the Queen said, and this, see, I used to duck and dodge feelings and emotions for a long time. Even though I put on a good front, inside I wasn't feeling good about myself because I was very, very scared of how I looked to other people in my life. You went through a divorce in your first marriage. You was out there doing stuff you had no business doing that was detrimental to that first marriage, okay? But you know what? I'm just being as honest as I can. I didn't want to be in that marriage, okay? Although this ain't a thing about marriage this time. I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from today, which makes you understand why I do some of the things I do right now.
And sometimes you will marry a person in the beginning that you know it ain't right, but you don't have the courage to get out of it.
Before you go and do something that's going to be detrimental to your well-being or the well-being of the other person in that marriage.
Yes.
I'm only speaking for myself. But then again, when you have children from that first marriage, what can happen? And this happened to me for years. Okay, just being as honest as I can, okay? I'm just saying. You feel shame and guilt about what you did in that first marriage, and then your children, and a lot of times, and I've said this before, I'll keep saying it, a lot of times the children are fed a lot of garbage about the spouse that's not there. Your daddy did this, your mama did that, and that's a no good so-and-so, and and the children can grow up with a distorted view of that parent who is not there. For whatever reason. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some parents that don't want to have anything to do with children in their lives that they fathered or mothered or whatever. And I'm not speaking about that.
And we weren't those people.
Absolutely.
We were not
type
those
of people.
Parents.
And even though I didn't get along or wanted to be with my children's mother, quote unquote, all right, I love my children. They're grown and they got kids of their own now, but the relationship is not the way I want it to be, but I'm not going to keep going on about that.
Yeah, because sometimes parents, when they go through a divorce, and then we're going to get back on our topic.
Please.
When they go through a divorce, they don't know how to separate their love with the person that they're no longer with, that man or that woman, that wife or that husband. They don't know how to separate that love. They lump the children in with the person that they no longer love, and then the children become rejected and abandoned.
That's the way they feel.
And that's the way the children will grow up feeling like my daddy or my mama didn't love me, because they will not seem like love those children because they don't love the person that they used to be with. And that can really get all down in children's crawl spaces as they grow up. And who's saying what?
Niece Nairi, you're right on the money.
That's why I make
Never
sure I don't
badmouth that spouse that's not there, or spouse said, or the father or the mother to those children. They will find out on their own.
Oh, most definitely.
Whether or not their mother or father really cared for them. But see, what I allowed to happen was I allowed my children to get me in an emotional headlock, and that's why I kept apologizing all those years. But you know what, though? I don't need to apologize anymore.
Yeah, and then one day I told him, because my husband would go to functions and anniversary parties and things and always get up there when they asked him to have words to say. First thing be out of his mouth was, I'm so sorry for how I treated you and blah, 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 blah. So one day I told my husband, you need to stop apologizing, because the reason you keep apologizing is because they don't say to you, Dad, I forgive you for not being in the home with me. Although he wasn't in the home, he did everything that he could to try to help his kids have a good life. But they grow up and then all fed all of this old stuff and carrying on, and then it just, I just don't understand.
But what I'm also saying is this. Once you get your act together, once you've apologized once and sincerely and you mean it, you don't have to keep doing it.
No.
And see, the burden ain't on you no more.
No.
Because again, the apology, and you heard me say this before, the apology is really not for them, it's for you.
Yeah.
You need to stop beating yourself up for things you cannot change.
Yeah.
Like Roosevelt said earlier, that's in my rearview mirror.
That's in my rearview mirror. Okay, if you keep looking in that rearview mirror, you never look out of your windshield.
There you go.
And isn't your windshield a lot larger than your rearview mirror? Rearview mirror is this big. Windshield is this big. Keep looking out the windshield. Stop looking in the rearview mirror.
Absolutely.
Stop doing it. Hey, Rhonda, him still handsome as ever. Yes, he my boo. He my boo. Handsome as ever. Ooh, handsome as ever. Roosevelt, you are absolutely right, because you give them power. When they got the power, they rule over you. You got that right.
You got it.
Ooh, it takes years to find out this stuff, don't it?
Now, let me say this to you guys. Now, solutions. Go get some help.
Yes, I got
Go to psychologists, psychiatrists if you have to. Go to support groups. Go to a good friend or somebody who will tell you the truth.
Not what you want to hear, because see, we tend to go to people that we are friends with because they know that we know that they're going to agree with us. Oh, child, you right about that. He ain't shit. She ain't shit. Ooh.
Here it comes.
Zuckerberg, I'm sorry, baby. Don't delete me off
Here
Facebook.
it comes. You want answers? No, we want the truth. Well, a lot of us can't handle the truth.
Right.
And that's why we tend to go with people who will kiss our butts and tell us what we want to hear instead of telling us what we need to hear.
And that's right, Wanda. Okay. Rhonda, I'm sorry. Psychology. Yes, because I said before you chimed in, I was telling the viewers that I still go see a psychologist. Wow. I still go see, because a psychologist, for the most part, if they are worth their salt, they won't tell you what you want to hear. They'll give you honesty
and options, what you can consider doing. But again, I'm going to say this, and I'll keep saying it, but it's up to you to make your choice. But understand this. I am accountable and responsible for the choices and the decisions that I make, not what the other grown person makes. That is on them.
Yeah, we're not responsible for everything that's not coming out right in our life when it involves relationship issues. We're not responsible for that whole thing.
No.
I take responsibility for my part in the situation. The other person has to take responsibility for their part. I'm not going to blame myself for everything and go through this blaming game. I'm 70 years young, y'all. Ain't nobody got time for no BS. And one thing that I do try to do at my age, because I don't know when my doorbell gonna ring, I try to tell the truth. I'm not here trying to lie on nobody or make some shiggity up. I don't try to do that. I try to tell the truth. Now, it's my truth. Your truth might be different than my truth.
And that's okay.
Okay,
anyway,
what
let's
they
circle
say?
back.
Okay, listen.
What are the people saying?
Okay, it is worth hearing a biased person's thought. Yes. Priscilla said, love this. My sponsor told me this is my first year of my recovery. You go, girl. Go, girl.
Cool.
Non-biased. You're right. You look good too, boo. Thank you, sweetie. I need to hear that. You know, every now and then when you're 70, you need to know somebody to tell you.
I just got
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Here is a thought that I picked up from one of the guys in my fellowship. This may help some of you. He said, the meaner I get, the more I lose.
That's a good one.
I think it's excellent.
Repeat that, dear.
The meaner I get, the more I lose. He wasn't talking about gambling, y'all. talking about life. He was talking about relationships. Because a lot of us, we are bitter and resentful in a relationship that either has failed or has broken down or no longer is. If that is the case for you, you can do yourself a great favor by looking in the mirror every day and telling yourself, I love you. Warts and all. Okay?
Ronnie said, yep, hate is a blessing blocker.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever
Okay?
you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, let's circle back to
let's get back on our topic. In case you just joined in, are the holidays stressful for you? Now, we got off on some other stuff, but we're coming back in.
But that's okay. Now, but I want to go back to what the Queen said about some of us drag our families, and I did this for years. I was married to the Queen and Burger Time, her son, okay? And he's my son too, okay? Stan Elbert II, okay? I would drag them around. When she said you're going about to 15 relatives, what she didn't say was this. Oh, we went to maybe 2 or 3 relatives on her side, but the other 12 was on my side. It was wrong. And again, it took her a long time to tell me these things because,
I didn't want to
as
hurt
you
his
noticed,
feelings.
right. Plus, I can be
holidays
loud.
is touchy, and when you're talking about in-law, when you're talking about your spouse's people and family, that used to always be a touchy subject.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
us. We couldn't breach it because, there we go. I get mad and I speak to him for a week until it was time to.
But to de-stress, if that is an issue with you, okay, this is what I would do today if I had a chance to do it all over again. You sit down, you talk to your spouse, and you talk to your children. And you say, hey, what do y'all want to do? You being, quote unquote, the man of the family or the, whatever you want to call yourself, the breadwinner, the leader, or whatever. Not because you say something, everybody has to fall in line with that. They have a right to express their opinion also. And I'll tell you where this is coming from, okay? A very dear friend of mine I worked with when I was working for AT&T, he was saying that he and his family were going to go on vacation. And he said that when they decide what they're going to do, he would let his wife speak where she would want to go, and he would let his children also say where they wanted to go. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, what do you mean? Your children have a voice also? He said, sure. Because they may not want to go to the same places that I want to go. And they have a right to express that.
But we come from old school parents and background that says
children
what
should
I
be
say,
seen and not heard.
Yeah, what I say go,
business.
You don't have no opinion.
Absolutely.
And sit down, go somewhere and sit down and be quiet.
And plus two, around the holidays, the weather is usually, it can get a little dicey, okay? I'm not taking that into consideration. And I don't care what kind of vehicle you have out here on these bad roads, your vehicle can slip and slide.
And we live in Northwest Ohio, for those that don't know, because I know people chime in from all over the world on this
That's true,
Facebook.
too, okay? So, again, take into consideration the other people's thoughts and ideas. And you know what? They're liable to come up with something you never thought of, but you're letting them express themselves, okay? And you, if you call yourself the leader of your family, this, that, and the other, you don't have a hammer pounding everybody in the head, okay? You allow them to be who they are.
Yeah, because like I said, this is a touchy time of year. It can be when it comes to the holidays, when it comes to shopping, going out cooking. And have you ever, ladies, this is going to the ladies, you ever get in your kitchen and cook up all kind of stuff? Just have it, cookies everywhere, different kind of food and everything. Everybody sit down and have a great time eating the food, and everybody give up. Don't nobody say, this food was good. Thank you for cooking. You got to call people and say, by the way, did you get your gift? If you mailed something, okay? They didn't got their gift a week ago. And you got to call and say, did you get your gift? That's our way of pulling a thank you out of people.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody gets you something, I don't care if you're young people, middle-aged people, old people, say thank you, because it makes a person not want to do it again. Every year I say, I ain't buying so-and-so and so nothing because they didn't say thank you. I had to pull a thank you out of them. I don't know what's happening to some in society now. We are losing morals. I don't know whether it's the climate of the country, but people are, some, not all. I overthink people. I overthink it. But people have a problem with saying thank you, you're welcome, please. Come on, you guys. We can do better than this. We better than this. I don't know what.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the greatest Christmas songs ever is playing in the background. Please Come Home for Christmas.
What did
by
Rhonda
Charles
say?
Brown.
I let my baby be herself as a teenager, and we had a code word. And when she would say it, she could express herself by saying what she wanted without getting in trouble. That's great. Many get accustomed and feel as if they are entitled. Oh, I think we live in an entitled society now. Because like I tell my husband, sometimes I think baby boomer generation gave their children more than what we got. And I think it has spoiled them or entitled them or something. They expect from you. Because I didn't have much. Let me tell you the story, and I'm going to get back on it. This is about Christmas, though. One Christmas, I must have been about 9 years old, maybe 10, still playing with dolls. We were very poor, okay? My father was in and out the house, in and out the home. My mother was scuffling, blah, 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 trying to give us something. There was years we were waiting on some charitable organization to drop off a Christmas basket that had food and toys in it. Now, one year, my mother went to what we called Sally's, but I got grown and found out that Sally's was a short word for the Salvation Army. She gave me a doll, okay? And I'm playing with my little doll and everything on Christmas morning, and my doll's head fell off. Do you know how traumatic that was? I kept trying to get my doll's head to get back on, screwing it and carrying on, and the doll's head never went back on. I didn't know the doll came from the Salvation Army and it was a used doll, but that traumatized me. That's why now, as an adult, and my husband will tell you, I've been a very responsible person. And sometimes it's detrimental because I don't have patience for people that aren't responsible. Because I grew up on the hard side of life. It was 8 children. And father in and out the home. Mama didn't know how to raise children and carrying on. She was just having babies. Bam, 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 bam. She didn't know how to love up on us. I told somebody recently that sometimes I think, when I'm just talking about my family, I'm being transparent. I don't come from a close-knit family, okay? We used to seem like be closer as young adults when my sister was living. But as we're getting older, we don't seem to be as close. And I'm not blaming my mom because she did the best she could being by herself for the most of the time, you know, with us growing up. But she wasn't the type of mother that would hug up on me or tell me that she loved me. She normally hugged me when she was going through something, and she would come into my bedroom and she needed somebody to hold on to for her own problems that she was going through. So she found me to hold her, okay, and comfort her. But she wasn't the type of mother, and I'm not trying to disparage her because she's no longer here to defend herself. But I imagine if she was here, we would have this honest conversation. She would admit it. But she wasn't that type of mother. I didn't have a close-knit relationship with my father. Like I said, he was in and out of the home, very abusive. He grew up in foster care, so he put the punishment that he got in foster care upon us, and it was very hard. So I understand that now, and I wish they were here so that I could let them know. I understand. They did the best they could with what they knew. But I didn't have all that lovey-dovey, I love you, keep the family, you know, watch out for each other as you guys grow up into adulthood. We didn't get that. So I think we tend to be sort of apart. I very seldom will get a call from a family member unless I initiate the call. And sometimes I get tired of initiating. I'm like, I ain't called nobody. But then sometimes I say, oh, let your guard down. It's Christmas time or whatever, holiday time, and I'll call somebody. But I don't come from a close-knit family. But luckily, I have my husband that I lean on and that loves me up. And he is so good to me. And I ain't trying to brag, but the truth is the truth. I am spoiled. I'm spoiled. I spoil him too. He spoils me.
Well,
That's just what it is, because we only have each other.
For the most part. Let me interject something in here too. Again, holidays can be stressful because a lot of us put too much pressure on ourselves to keep a relationship going, especially if you don't feel close to your children or your brothers or your sisters or whatever. This is something that's helped me. A lot of times, the other party does not have the emotional maturity to have an honest relationship with you. They still want to take you back and tell you something you did 20, 30, 40 years ago that made them feel bad.
I can't correct that.
Right. But you know what today? And this is where courage comes in. And if anybody you guys know, my children or your grandchildren, because I got grown grandchildren too, and so does the Queen, okay? We share together. I can have an honest conversation with any of them about anything today. Again, you know why? Because I've taken responsibility for what I did good, and I've also taken responsibility for what I did not do so good, because again, I can't change the past, but we got now. I said this to my two children when they were very small. They were probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 years old. They may remember this, they may not, okay? And they may be looking at this, they may not. It's up to them. I said to them, you guys are going to have to make up your own minds about how you feel about me and my present wife, meaning Earlean, who is not their biological mother. And even though I didn't know nothing at that time, I didn't know my butt from my elbow or my butt from a hole in the ground or whatever, okay? But again, it takes courage to change.
And let me tell you and interject this. I ain't trying to brag, but the truth is the truth. I was a great stepmama. I treated his children as though I birthed them. And
gave them a bunch of class, too.
Now, ain't nobody talking to me. They grew up and call you bitches and everything. I just don't know what's wrong with the kids.
As I said earlier, because they're still looking in the past.
Yeah, they say.
And they can continue looking in the past. But see, one reason that they have to keep looking in the past, because they have nothing today to hang their hats on.
Yeah, but you know, we did the best we could.
Hey, we did the best we could. At that time.
Yeah, but I don't think we should have even did any more than what we did, because like I say, it takes these children in today's generation into the entitlement way of thinking. They think you owe them something continuously, and they will punish you if you don't do what they want you to do. I know what I'm talking about. I experienced that.
They can only punish you if you allow it. Okay? If you say, and you guys have heard me say this before maybe, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to try to add, subtract, or whatever. You know? Hey, and I've been through this. I was a soft touch. They wouldn't go to her. They'd come to me, especially about money matters.
They come to the ward. They wouldn't come to the ward.
And you know what?
But look here. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
They come to the ward because we had overdid. We didn't overdid. So it reaches a point where when you have grown children, it's time for them to take responsibilities for their life.
No question.
And when they're married and they have spouses, we didn't run to our parents saying, oh, we can't pay our light bill, or our water bill, or our rent. We didn't do that because our parents would act like right off the bat, well, I'm broke. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. Wait, he did, but he didn't tell me he was doing.
Let me interject. Let me interject a solution that I use today. When my adult children, and sometimes they still try you, if they come to me today and say, hey, can't pay my light bill, can't pay my gas bill, my car note's due, and you don't want to see me not have a car, do you, so I can't get to work. You know what I would say to them today? Tell you what, let's take a look at this. I can show you how to make a budget. Both you and your spouse are working. Yeah, because this is the case in all of our grown children's relationships, at least that I know of, okay? Again, I'm just making it just as personal as I can. If both you and your spouse are both working and you cannot pay your bills, there's something going wrong in your household.
Yeah, because, and I'm not just talking about our children, because I ain't trying to be on here saying all that stuff or whatever.
Well, she don't, but I will.
Yeah. It's about honesty. It's about honesty. We too old for BS. But anyway, I know people that will come and borrow money from people, from, there's children, adult children, good and grown, married, everything. And when it come time to pay back, I mean, just because I'm your parent, you still owe me. And I've seen others do it. And people have talked to me about this. Children will come, adult children, and they have on the latest Nikes, and got a Coach purse. They didn't went out and bought and did that other, and ain't paid the bill we didn't wrote off so much money. We didn't wrote off so much money because it ain't worth arguing about money and falling out with your children and things.
Down the river with the Red Cross, it ain't coming back.
No.
But here's the deal, though. It's up to you to stop the bleeding.
Right, stop the bleeding. So anyway, we're going to get back on this up. We keep getting off on family thing, but the holidays
bring out the best in people and also brings out the worst in people. And not only the
holidays, death brings out the worst in people, and it brings out the best in people. All of this stuff is connected.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we gave you guys some of the stressors. We gave you something, because we're going to be ending here in a minute. We gave you some of the stressors: demands, cooking, shopping, who to visit, buying for people that you don't particularly get along with, sadness and loneliness, depression, death, loss, divorce, relationship issues. We gave you all of those stressful triggers. Now we're going to give you some solutions. Some of the solutions that I would like to name here is plan ahead. Plan ahead for your holiday. Talk with your spouse what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Be on the same page with whatever you're going to do for people that are in your lives during the holiday that you want to gift them, okay? Acknowledge your feelings. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't suffer in silence with things that you don't want to do, because we tend to do that, and it gets us in a jam when I thought you ought to read my mind. I thought you ought to read my mind what I didn't want you. You ought to be able to read my mind. Well, can't nobody read your mind, so you're going to have to acknowledge your feelings and communicate. Priorities. Oh, yeah. Be realistic. You can't do everything for everybody.
Nope.
That's being realistic. Priorities. Don't overdo it. Sometimes as we get older, we want to overdo it because we're trying to please everybody up under the sun, and then we ain't being pleased. So don't overdo it. Yeah. Lower your expectations. This is what my psychologist told me just this week when I went in. Queen, lower your expectations. You expect people to do da-da-da-da-da. They ain't thinking like you. Lower your expectations, okay? You'll come out better. Financial stress. A lot of people out there have financial stress. Stick to a budget. You know what you can spend. Don't go over your budget, because when you get people go over their budgets around the holidays because they know them income taxes is rolling in January, February, March, and then you trying to pay off all of them credit cards and your light bill is due.
Let me add two things along with stay inside your budget or whatever, okay? When it comes to money, a couple of points I want to make. For you people who are like me, who had a gambling problem, although I'm doing something about it today, my gambling always increased around the holidays. Always. Okay?
Because he thought he was going to win some money to buy everybody
to please
something.
All these people.
And I'm proud to say that my husband has been clean and sober from gambling for over 33 years.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. He was at a meeting this morning. Go ahead, Friday.
Point two, this is simple arithmetic. If you got more going out than you got coming in, you're going backwards.
Yes, you're going backwards. You can't solve that problem.
So Black and white.
Yeah, so let's keep going down this solutions list.
Right.
Step back and take a breather. Because sometimes we get so bent out of shape and so much stuff, we just need to breathe.
Give yourself a break.
Yes.
Okay? Go on a vacation. What do they call it now?
But don't go into debt to do it.
Well, see, you didn't let me add. But
okay,
I am. Because she's beautiful.
I'm talking.
They came up with something called a stay vacation.
Yes,
take the phone off the hook. Tell everybody you're incommunicado for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, you might be just at home, just
absolutely
having a good time,
chilling,
resting and relaxing.
whatever you young folks do.
But make them think you're gone.
Right.
So they don't bug you.
Just chill the hell out. For you who not religious, and I got to keep saying this, spiritual, go into your silent space, have a good talk with your higher power of your understanding. Now, you religious people, just keep it out there, okay?
And if you don't have that, talk to yourself.
There you go. Okay, move on.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, always try to talk to someone. Communicate. Don't suffer in silence. I said that earlier. Mm-hmm. Or seek professional help. Because I'm not a psychologist. I can't listen to everybody's stuff. Because I got my own shiggity that I'm trying to deal with and get through each day. So, talk to somebody. Get professional help. Yep. And some of the help can be, you might not be able to afford a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but there are support groups out there that are absolutely free. Don't cost you one red dime. Go sit in there and try to talk and get some input from people that have gone through what you're going through. You can't beat empathy. Now, people can sympathize with you, but empathy is somebody that has gone through the same thing you have walked in your shoes, and you don't even have to sort of go into a whole bunch of detail. They already know what you're going through because they didn't been through it.
Absolutely. They just might give you a new concept to deal with a problem that's been bugging you for years.
Okay.
Because here's the deal, too, now, okay? If you want to keep on getting what you're getting,
keep on doing what you're doing.
But what if you're doing is not producing the results or
to
what it is that you would like? It's telling you need to change.
Okay, Erica Harris is saying an idea to bring down the cost is to do a gift exchange by having the family or friends drawing a name out of a hat and only be responsible for buying that person a gift with the limit that you've set that everyone agreed on. I like that because I know other family members that do that. You can't buy for everybody, but a gift exchange. Even if you did it over long distance or something, have somebody pull a name out or whatever.
And which makes me think about this. With my grandchildren, our grandchildren, okay? I have the 18-year-old and graduation. And this is for all y'all out there that ain't reached this yet. I have the 18-year-old and graduation from high school limit. And that goes like this for y'all who forgotten out there that belong to us. When you're 18 years old, you're going to get a birthday card and a monetary gift from us. When you graduate high school, you're going to get a card and a monetary gift from us. But after 18 and after you graduate from high school, doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean we don't love you or care about you anymore.
Yeah, we still love you. We still care
The
about you.
card and the financial thing is cut off.
Yeah, we'll call you and say happy birthday, happy whatever, happy holiday, whatever. But there will be no more monetary gifts out of grandma and grandpa's.
Papa B is out.
No, we've done it 18 years and we were good to you.
That's right.
But now it's time for y'all to be good to us as your grandparents.
Well, I'm going to hold my breath for that one. But as a good friend of mine, Lee Clay, said to me one day, and only like Lee Clay, if you know Lee Clay, the ATM machine is broke.
It's closed.
Right. I'm sorry. The ATM machine is closed.
So anyway, with that being said,
it's about time for us to
What time did we start?
We started at 2:04. We were 4 minutes late, and I apologize.
We was only going to do
30 minutes, okay.
But when people are chiming in, it got good, and people chiming in, and they want to give their opinions on things. So we're getting ready to close out.
Absolutely.
But always know that the Belcher'S, DB, my king,
and the Queen, Cookie Mac
queen.
Belcher'S.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, sir.
We love ourselves, but we also love y'all to life. Have a great day. Have a great life. Have a great holiday. I hope we get to see y'all in 2020. Okay?
Absolutely. And also, as I say quite often, be kind to each other out there. Kindness is something that You always get it back when you put it out there, okay? You're telling me to wrap it up?
Oh, no, because I ain't gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna show y'all one thing before I leave, and then I'm gonna go. But I was sitting around here the other day and was watching this program on TV.
You go ahead.
And
DB's out.
I seen, okay, he go. There he is right there. He go. I saw on this TV program this roses. Well, y'all know I had to come and do mine. Look at this. I embellished my chandelier. Let me stand up so you can see. I embellished my chandelier. Y'all like that? I embellished it with roses. I think this is so pretty. I seen it on a TV program. And I said, I'm going to do that to my chandelier.
And it looks beautiful, Queen.
It gives it a lot of color. I used to have icicles, gold and silver icicles hanging all around my chandelier. But I did roses. I think it's the cutest thing. Ooh, I think I even put a rose in my little napkin right here.
Rose by any other name?
Y'all see my place setting right here? Ooh, I love to decorate.
Yes,
I usually decorate
I
decorate with the seasons, okay? I decorate with the seasons, but I love this chandelier with all of these roses up here on this chandelier. And for those that didn't see, I think for the most part, I showed you the remodeling of our kitchen. They finished about a month ago, dear.
What's the day, 20th?
Oh, we got all new appliances.
One month
new
ago today?
range, a new microwave, a new fridge. I sort of put a little decoration on, and a new dishwasher. Thank you, Erica. I put a little mat on my floor. I like snowmen. I don't get into these Santa Clauses and things because that's man-made. I like snowmen because I know snow. Oh, and they painted. You guys see. They painted, they tilted, they angled my my counter. They angled it. It used to go across straight, but they put it at an angle. That way I can see everybody when I'm entertaining. And they painted my cupboards. They painted all my cupboards like a pretty color. Oh, and I got new floors, y'all. Look at these floors. I got new floors throughout the whole home. Everything matching. I used to have ceramic in the kitchen. I used to have linoleum in my laundry room. But this is my laundry room, and I got all new. The floors go throughout the whole house. We even got new washer and dryer because we said, hey, we might as well make everything new because we're getting older now, and we've been here 15 years. And I said that I'm not doing this no more. So the floor